Hi ladies, today I'm here with a quick makeup tutorial on an everyday makeup look that's very simple and for beginners. So I'm going to show you how to go from looking like that to looking like this. Yes, look at that glow. Let's go ahead and get started. So first I'm going to go ahead and fill in my brows, and I'm using the NYX brow pencil in the shade dark brown. Typically I would prime first, but I neglected to do that, so I will be doing that after this step. So when I fill in my brows, I fill it in a shape or direction that I want my brows to lay. And I also use the brush that's on the brow pencil to clean off and reshape those brows. Now I'm going and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Concealer, and I'm using that in the shade Almond to clean off any excess strokes and give my brow the desired shape. I love this concealer because it has a brush that is applied to it, and I find it very easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and try to go ahead and do the same thing to my other brow, and I'm hoping that I can have identical brows, which never seems to happen for me. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep my fingers crossed that they will be somewhat alike. I am by no means a makeup tutorial, or makeup guru, excuse me. So please remember that this is my very first makeup tutorial, and like I said, it is something that is for beginners. Very simple, everyday look, and should take you about 15 to 20 minutes. I'm just showing you exactly what I do on an everyday look for when I'm going to work or just running a quick errand and I feel like putting makeup on. So now it's time to actually prime, and I am using the Maybelline New York Master Prime Blur and Illuminate 100, and it has the SPF components, so it not only protects your face from skin, it also protects it from the foundation and it will illuminate it. Here I am cleaning off the excess concealer from my brows and making sure that I do not disturb the shape that I have created. If anything, I want to help create a better shape, so I take my time to go ahead and clean it. Sometimes I do go ahead and use my fingers to do that because I feel like it does a better job getting the excess off. But the angle brush, which in this situation I'm using the eyeliner brush, it helps more precisely. But I will go back through with my fingers and try to blend in further. The benefit of using a pencil and a brush combo is that it gives you those hair-like strokes, and that's what I'm doing here. I always go back through and finish with the brush. Now I'm applying my foundation, and the foundation of choice that I use is the MAC Studio Fix, and I am a shade number NW47. And I'm applying that all over my face because I would like a full coverage look, and I'm bringing it down to my neck because you do not want a different color neck from the color of your face. Sometimes I'll even bring it to my ear area, depending on if I have earrings or not, and how my hair is going to be. So I'm buffing that into my skin as best as possible, trying my best not to disturb the brows, to change that shape up any differently, because you know, once you've worked on your brows, it's very hard. Now I'm applying more foundation on my fingers so I can apply it to my lid, because I find that sometimes my lid area is somewhat neglected, and I do not like dark lids once the foundation has been applied. So just make sure you blend as best as possible. Now I'm going ahead to begin the contour process, and I am going to use, once again, the LA Girl Concealer, and I am using the color Almond. So previously when I cleaned off my brows, I used the color Toast, but I'm using Almond to actually highlight and contour. This is actually the highlight process. I'm not even sure what I said before, but I'm highlighting. And I applied it underneath my eyes, in the middle of my forehead area. I apply it down the bridge of my nose, my cupid's bow, and in the middle of my chin. I do tend to sometimes over apply, and that just means I have to buff and blend more, and I'm using my beauty blender at this time to do that. It's very hard to do this while you're looking at a smaller mirror or into a camera lens. Very, very hard. So I think at one point I felt like I did not have enough, and looking back at it, I actually had the perfect amount and brought it down a little too far, but it still came out flawless and gave me the exact glow that I wanted. So I'm doing my best to blend in that concealer as best as possible, blend and buff, because I want that to really sink into my skin. And I want to get rid of those lines. I don't want any lines to be showing. And when I go back through, I'm going to use a skinnier blending brush to actually blend in on my nose. And here I blend in on both sides of that bold line so that there is no line to be seen after that. And the beauty of this is that contour will help slim your nose and give your nose a bit more structure. Now I'm going in and I'm preparing to bake. And by bake, I'm going to set my face with a translucent powder so that my makeup and concealer does not crease or begin to crumble throughout the day. I am using the Ben-Nye powder, and it's a translucent powder, and I'm using the shade Sienna. I know a lot of the makeup gurus use the Ben-Nye powder in banana, but for my skin tone, I feel like the banana is too pale, too light for me. So I'm being more realistic and going with Sienna. It's been working for me thus far. The one thing I will say is the bottle that the Ben-Nye powder comes in has a screen protector with holes, and it's very difficult for it to come out. So that's why I'm looking down, because I have to be very careful that I don't get it on my desk. I do need to go ahead and cut that film off so I won't have this problem in the future. So yes, let's go ahead and continue to bake, and I make sure I cover all areas that concealer was at. Make sure I get full coverage of that. Now I'm adding it to the lower cheekbone so that it can assist with the contouring. I'm kind of like marking the area that I want to contour, and kind of like a pre-step or being slight proactive. Now I'm using the LA Girl Concealer in Espresso, and I'm going to come back through with the almond shade, and I'm going to apply that to my lids. The reason why I'm doing that is because typically I would use a primer that's made for the eyelids, like my Urban Decay, but I can't locate it, and sometimes I feel like the Urban Decay is white and chalky, and I don't apply shadow all over my lids, so I just like to be able to lighten it and have something to hold it. So I will apply that and blend that in as best as possible. And it looks like I have something on my lips now, but I do not. It's just that concealer. Once I've gotten that blended in, it's now time to apply my shadow. And I know a lot of people suggest that you apply shadow before you do any type of foundation because of the excess. But for me, foundation or shadow is not part of my daily routine every day. It kind of depends on how I'm doing with time. If I'm running out of time, I will not put on any eyeshadow. So I'd rather get through my brows and foundation before I worry about shadow. And here I am using the Milani Earth Elements number 5. And I don't have the name of the color, but it's a purple shade. And then I'm going to fall back through with the Smashbox Double Exposure Palette. And I'm using the colors Fig, Espresso, and Veiled. And I'm just doing to blend that in to give it a natural look so that there aren't any lines. You don't want any lines in your makeup whatsoever. So the more you blend, the better. I'm not a stickler on the type of brushes I use. Like I said, I'm not a guru, and I said this was going to be simple. So whatever brush that I can easily get to, I'm going to use, because brushes are not that deep to me. Now, once your translucent powder has set, it's time to go ahead and dust off that excess powder. And I'm coming in with another brush. Cannot tell you the name of it. I just know that they're light fuzzy brushes. I want to say this is BH Cosmetics brushes. I'm not sure, but I'm just dusting that off. Here I am beginning the contour process, and I'm going to bring the contour stick, which is the Sephora Highlight Base and Contour Duo, and the color very dark or deep brown, can't remember. And I'm outlining my face and also putting some down underneath my cheekbone and on the sides of my nose to complete that slimming look for my nose, as well as to give definition to my face and also a more shape. Because when you apply foundation and apply highlight, you kind of lose the shape of your face, and this contour will do that. It'll help bring it back. I love it because it not only gives definition, but it's like oil-based, so it's easy to apply and easy to blend in. Now I am going to go ahead and bring my whole face together, and I'm using a Mary Kay finishing powder. Typically, I would use a bronzer, but that's only if I'm going out for a special occasion, and I feel like I'm going to be taking like a lot of pictures. But every day, this powder is fine. I don't know the color. I've had it forever, and I'm not a stickler on using one brand. Now it's time to get my lashes popping. So I am using the Maybelline New York Lash Sensational Very Black Mascara. This is my favorite mascara by far. I've used it for like the last couple months, and I feel like it really does a really good job at elongating my real lashes. And even sometimes, if I really work hard at it, it makes it seem as though I have some false lashes. And you know, when a lash can bring out your bottom, or a mascara can bring out your bottom lashes, it's a good mascara. Now that that's done, what's left? The only thing left to do is your lips. So here I am digging, probably for my favorite lipstick. I couldn't remember, but once I locate it, I'm going to apply lipstick and lip liner. So I'm using the MAC Max lipstick in Sin, and also the lip liner by MAC in Night Moth. I apply my lip liner first by tracing my lips, and then I fill it in. I honestly could use this lip liner by itself if I chose to, but today I want to give it a little bit more color. So I am filling it back in with Sin. And if you look at the lipstick, I've been through that lipstick. It's one of my favorites. So I just go ahead and fill it in, making sure to work in my inner lip because that is a little bit lighter. Now once that's done, you are glowing. So here's the finished look. I had to get my little hair together, and yes, look at that glow and that definition. So yes, ladies, here's my tutorial on how to go from looking like blah to looking like bow. Thank you for watching. Please comment, subscribe, and rate. Until next time.